there's one thing I hate. It's when I have to start over because a loud siren goes off outside. So irritating. Anyways, let's talk blades, everybody. That's what we're into today. I got for you guys something new. Something different. Now, you guys know of Gonzo knives. Well, Gonzo knives teamed up with Adimanti. That's what I've been calling it. Now, I don't know which one came first. I'm pretty sure Gonzo knives, at least to me, came first, and then Adimanti knives decided to just go ahead and team up with Gonzo. I'm not entirely sure how that worked, but anyways, this is a really, really awesome knife, and I've been wanting to get one since I've seen it, and I'm happy that I have one now on my channel. So, Adimanti knives. Yeah, so this is Firebird Adimanti Samson. Okay, this is a Samson knife. GR pocket folding knife, G10 handle, clip, and glass breaker, D2 steel blade, hunting, fishing, camping, outdoor EDC knife, green new item. Why does Amazon do this? Why do they have to have paragraphs for their names? So here we are. The one thing that throws me off about this knife is that there's no glass breaker on this knife, so I don't understand why they put glass breaker on there. Find that a bit strange, but you know, hey, that's what it is. Here it is. Yeah, so you see China, Gonzo tools. Obviously the brand is Adimanti. Really, really neat knife. Now, when I saw this, I wanted it in black G10, but I wasn't able to find it in black G10. It's there, but it's not available for purchase. And then I saw one in brown, but I didn't like the brown because it was way too light. So I don't know. I didn't really care for that too much. So in the box, you guys get a bunch of neat things. Well, I like this. You get the Gonzo Firebird. Okay. Oh, here it is. Gonzo tools. Or Ganzo, or I've heard so many people coin it in different ways. Here's your tactical silica you can throw on the face of your enemies and piss them off. And of course, here is Brutalica. Now, isn't that just a badass name? I mean, it's already bad enough I like Max to Chuck. That was a pretty sick name. Now we got Brutalica. All right, so if you want to pause and read that, you can. I'm not going to read the whole thing. Adimanti by Gonzo. And then, of course, you got your warranty information and all this good and happy junk right here. That's your literature. All right. Now, here it is. Now, this is the OD green version, the only one that I was able to actually purchase, other than the brown, which I would have opted out and got the black G10, but like I said, that one was not available, which is fine with me. I actually think that this knife, having this green on there, is very suiting for it. It just seems to fit. It really does. Now I'm going to get rid of all this garbage that I have here so that way you guys aren't too distracted by all this mess. I'm going to leave that here. So, yeah. You got yourself a dagger-styled knife, or a boot knife almost, if I could say that properly, for this being in that description. So here it is. Adimanti. You can see that emblem there. And you flip it around and it says Samson D2 Brutalica design made by Gonzo. Now this is a budget knife. We're talking, what is it, 60, 60, 70, 60, 69.93. Okay, so yeah, about $70. Anything under 100 or even anything under 80, I think is a decent budget knife right there. Now, if I go any further than that and I drop down to like 40 or 20, then at that point that knife might not be the greatest quality. But as it stands, with this kind of knife being a $70 knife, it's a very decent quality. Now, it is a bit heavy for my taste. It's a little over 5 ounces, but we'll find out here. I'll get into the specs here for you guys real soon, but I'm going to give you guys my personal opinions on this. If you guys are a fan of spear-pointed or dagger type knives, now this is the knife for you. You guys got to have it in the collection if you are a collector of such shaped blades as I am. Now what's really cool, what really got me on this knife that I really enjoyed, was the fact that the fuller on there is nice and even and is such a clean look on the knife. It just makes it pop. It really does. Now you got that top swedge. It is not sharpened. Obviously it's nice and dull, but on the other side it is razor sharp. I've been cutting some stuff here and there, and I can tell you it's sharp. It's really sharp, and it's a nice D2 steel. It's so funny, like I've only been seeing D2 only recently, and then all of a sudden budget knives are starting to have D2 steel. So I mean, it's better than 440 stainless. It's better than your typical Pakistani steel, and yeah, it's better than AUS 8 in some aspects. But I guess that all depends. Some people like it or hate it. It's still a decent steel. D2 does keep a better edge than the average AUS 8 or 440 stainless, in my personal opinion. Sneeze the wrong way and 440 stainless steel is just going to be crap after you try to use it. So I have to say that this is a decent pick for this. It really is. Now, this knife isn't exactly 4 inches. It says 3.8, so it's just under. Now, it is a liner lock, and that liner lock is quite drop shutty. That's really nice. I really do enjoy that. It's very, very smooth out of the box. It is running on ball bearings, or at least I've been told it's ball bearings. Now, if it's washers, please let me know. I doubt that it is. It's so smooth. I want to say it's ball bearings because this is really, really smooth. All right, so it's very military kind of inspired. All right, so I like the deep carry pocket clip on this, and it does have that kind of like arrow deep carry pocket clip, but I have to tell you, it is a bit tight in the pocket. The in and out isn't as smooth when you're carrying this thing. Now, is that a win or lose? Well, if you don't want to shred your pockets, I mean, it's just a little bit of pressure right there in your pocket, but that's still on some pretty coarse G10. Now, with that diamond pattern, that it provides great grip, but the take back on that, it could be a possible pocket shredder. Taking it in and out of the pocket repeatedly, it's going to cost you some fabric. All right, so just keeping that in mind, I think that's the only take back on anything G10, especially when you have a decent grip on a G10 handle. You're probably going to see a little bit of wear and tear on your pants pocket. And I think that's kind of a downer for me. I like my pants. I don't want to keep taking it in and out of the pocket, which you're going to be doing if you use your knife. So it's just something to keep in mind. You got that lanyard post right there, which I think is really cool. I think they stole that idea from a company. I'm not going to say who it is. You should probably know. But that's really neat. So for you lanyard dorks, you guys have that right there. I'm just kidding. You guys aren't dorks. I sometimes use lanyards too. But, it's really cool. It's not this gaping hole that's on the handle. You have a little post right there. So that's awesome. A little bit of an open back design, so you can actually clean it just a little bit, although it's not a complete open, but it's still easy to clean, and that's just nice. I really do enjoy that. So yeah, you can wave this out the pocket. Now I know someone's going to ask me, can you wave it out the pocket? Yes, you can. You got this little portion right here. It's going to catch on to the lip of your pocket, and it's going to pop it open. And of course, you got this little right here, quillion right there, guard, which you can use as a flipper, which more than likely you're going to have to because there's no thumb stud or front flipper. It's just the guard. Now, what's really nice about this is that it has a really clean look. I really do enjoy that. It just looks really, really good, which is why I don't mind the green. Amazon right now is selling these. If you want to grab one, you can. It is not expensive, at least not in my opinion, and it's a decent price. Anywhere around $70 to $80 is a decent, cheap knife, in my opinion. Anything lower than that, like a $50 knife, you're kind of riding the wave there, buddy. It might not last you, at least with the knives that I've had, and I don't really beat my knives up too often, and the cheaper the knife, the more you get to see how much of the quality you're paying for and how long it lasts. So Just keeping that, keep that in mind. This is a great knife. I really, I find this very, very attractive and appealing to the eye, especially being a knife collector. That's something that, when I saw that the first time, I instantly was like, where can I get one? What is that? So I'm going to go ahead and get into the specs. Now, you guys have known this in the past. I do I do used to collect Gonzo knives. But to me, they're more familiarized as the knife company that copies other knife companies but makes it cheap enough for you to have a expensive looking knife that's basically just a bump off of its original. I don't know if that made sense or if that came out right, but basically, if you look up some Gonzo knives, you can tell that some of them have copied Benchmade knives. I mean, the Bedlam is probably like the best example. The Benchmade Bedlam was copied by Gonzo, and yes, I had one. And I gotta tell you, it just made me want the Bedlam that much more, and I just stuck with my Gonzo for the longest time, and then I eventually got rid of all my Gonzos. I didn't want them anymore. I was like, look, I already have the actual ones. Why am I copying and getting the cheaper version of it when I already have the real thing? So I just got rid of them. I donated them all to a friend who was starting off his knife collection. So it all went to a good home. So now I'm back to, Gonzo again, but with an original design, I think. Unless there's a real one of this somewhere that's, a Brutalica design that's the original Samson. Anyways, get into the weight of it for you guys. So you're looking at 5.77 ounces. That's kind of a whopping number. I'm kidding. No, it's not. It's a little over 5 ounces. You guys know my sweet spot is around 5 ounces. It's just, I kind of don't want anything too much heavier than that. Is it a brick? No. I've carried it for a day. I thought it was fine. I was more worried about my pants pocket up against that G10 more than anything else, but it was a decent hold in the pocket, and it didn't feel like it was weighing down my pants. So that's just my personal opinion. Everybody's got their own, so I'm not, saying that is the end-all, be-all. Now I'm going to get into the length of this bad boy. Wow, did I just slip on that flipper? Are you freaking kidding me right now? All right, so you are looking at right at the pivot point, you're looking at 4 inches, but it's not. It's a little over 3.5, so you're looking at 3 3/4 on the measuring tape right there. And, of course, you're looking at a total of 8 3/8, or a little bit over 8 1/4. Okay? And the handle, if you guys are wondering, it's a little over 4.5, so 4 5/8 in your pocket, if that matters. So, it's not by any means a tiny knife. But it's not by any means a huge knife. It's kind of in the middle. Like I said, I would much rather have a knife that's as close to 4 inches as possible, simply because of, I don't know, I'm just used to 4-inch knives. I've been trained in knife fighting martial arts, so I know a little bit of stuff with a 4-inch blade. Anything smaller than that, I'm not entirely sure, unless it's a karambit, but, I'm talking smaller karambit, not the huge stuff. With what little knowledge that I do know with any type of self-defense knife, you kind of want it around the 4-inch mark. At least that's what I was taught. So if that matters at all, at least for me, that's kind of where I orient my aim as far as where I want my knife length to be. Of course, there are other bigger knives. You got hunting knives and, fixed blades and all that other jargon. But we're talking about this one right here. So this one's pretty martial looking in and of its own right. I mean, if you look at it, it kind of looks like a fighting knife, and I'm pretty sure it was designed by Brutalica to be somewhere along that line, to be best of both worlds, a self-defense knife, but also a tool as well. So I think that's really cool to have that kind of balance, because if you have a knife that's strictly just a tool, then you can't really use it in self-defense unless that's all you got. And of course, you don't want to have a knife that's just strictly self-defense, otherwise you might not want to use it as a tool, so it's one way or another. But this one's kind of in the in-between, on the fence type thing. But it's really cool in that aspect. It has that guard right there, so if you do have to go in for any type of stab, it helps stop your hand from riding onto the blade. Not to mention the grip is fantastic on this knife. I don't feel it slipping anytime soon. And on top of that, you have that spear point slash dagger styled blade slash bayonet kind of looking. It just looks really nice. It looks very war enthused. I don't know. It's a bit heavy. It does have a little bit of weight to it, like I said, and like you guys have seen. So just keep that in mind. It's not light as a feather, but, you know, it's there in your pocket, and it's a little over 5 ounces. So on the handle, you're looking at a 0.60, and on the blade, you're looking at a 0.11, if that matters. So is it good for the collection? Well, if you like Gonzo knives and you don't have one, I suggest you get one. It's good stuff. As far as a carrier knife, I think that an EDC blade with a D2 steel is pretty decent. I've been carrying around D2, and what have I been carrying around mostly? I think it's D2, OS 8. I know I've been carrying that one around a lot, and what was it? Japanese VG10. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to compare it with whatever I got in my pocket. And right now, I have in my pocket the Endura 4 with the Wave opener. Now, this is my kind of my go-to. This usually finds my pocket a lot. I'm usually picking this one a lot, or anything with a Wave opener. It just gets the knife out faster. This is my usual thing. It's nice and light, it's thin, and it has a decent size to it, so it's just under 4 inches, but it serves me well. So it has a good angle to it. The ergos are perfect as far as my grips go if I need to switch grips. This is my go-to knife a lot. If it's not this, then it's a cold steel. So I kind of hop between the two. It just depends on whether or not I want to, carry around the bulkiness of a cold steel. And most of the time I don't. I want to carry nice and light. I also want to carry nice and slim. And this is kind of my go-to. So this is kind of like the cheaper version, in my opinion, because it just kind of feels like that. But it does have a little bit of girth and a little bit of weight to it. I think that's the only drawback to this one right here. But it looks really nice. It's really, really good. And for some of you who don't want that 4 inches but want something a little bit less, this might actually be something you want to bite down on. So this is something that, I would recommend a collector, somebody who likes to collect war-oriented kind of knives. This will be it. But if you want something that just looks cool and you want to carry it around and just, awe-strike your friends, go ahead and get that one, dude. This is not a bad knife. It's not. It's really, really nice looking. So here it is. I'm gonna kind of try to put them side by side, handle to handle and blade to blade, so you guys can see the Endura is just a hair longer, but it's almost the same size. From handle to handle, blade to blade, it's literally almost there. So, I mean, you're not really drawing back if you decide to carry something like this. I mean, this is just a cool knife. It really is. Like I said, just in and out of the pocket's a little bit tight, and I kind of fear the fabric shredding a little in and out of the pocket. But, I mean, it's a small price to pay for a knife this cool. I'm going to take my Endura out of the frame here, because I'm not doing a review on that. So yeah, if you're not wanting to carry it around too much, it does come with this nice looking pouch with the Firebird emblem on there. I gotta tell you, man, it's just I couldn't. I wanted one. I really, really wanted one. So, and actually, this is the first knife I beat one of my knife buddies in getting. Because normally, when a knife comes out, that's really cool, and he's on top of it way faster than I am. And usually, I go to him first when I know I don't really want to spend the money. I just want to trade. Normally, because he buys two of the same knife, because he always wants one to collect and one to use. So that guy's way more insane than me. But I mean, I beat him at getting this one, so he was looking at it, drooling over it, and he's like, hey, man, I was like, no, you can get it yourself. You can get your own damn one. This one's mine. Kind of like trading Pokemon cards or baseball cards with that guy. But really, really cool stuff. Everything's nice and it's equal. You know, I don't know how to. It doesn't look like it's offset. Everything, there's no blade rock. It's nice and tight. Everything's fitting. It's great. Everything's nice and there's no blade play, no lock rock. Like I said, it just feels really, really good quality, and that's saying a lot. So, for the price you're getting, if someone said that this was $100 knife, I'd believe them. But it's not. It's a cheaper Gonzo. I don't know if this is Gonzo stepping out of their light, but they did a good job. Anyways, go ahead and slash that like button, stab that subscribe, slash that bell icon so you guys are notified anytime I post new stuff in these craziest of times. Everybody, please be kind, be safe, and carry responsibly. I'll see you all in the next video.